Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the EnteR ChazmaN podcast, where, as always, this is your totally favorite place to hear all of the nerdy, crazy video game news that has kind of piqued the interest of me and my buddies Phoenix and MetalGamer right here. As always, on screen there should be locations for some of the audio places where, if you'd like to hear listen to us, check us out there, and also check out some of the social medias, and down in the comments just on the video we'd love to hear any questions or suggestions or I don't know, anything you might have. Throw it at us or throw it at them. Don't throw it at me. You can throw it at those two guys.
No, send all the tomatoes right towards Chaz's face. Just clog the screen with them.
So how are you guys doing? I see I'm kind of the odd man out right now.
Oh, we're doing great. We've escaped. We're out of the basement slash attic slash wherever. We've gone out on the lam, so got our own little place here, surrounded by games. So yeah,
pretty awesome.
We're living the dream, away from Chaz.
No Chaz. So. Yeah, we're having a party.
I should just like zone myself out right here.
Oh, please do.
Go into your Marvel Snap.
Oh.
No, the Metal's doing some traveling. He was heading down my way, so I figured he'd swing by and we'd have an in-person podcast while we had the opportunity. So,
just to kind of defend myself from Gamer here, I would never choose Marvel Snap over the Beautiful Viewer. Beautiful Viewer always above Marvel Snap, right, Phoenix?
But this coming from the guy who chose Marvel Snap over playing Diablo. So I don't know if we should value your opinion very much.
I played it.
I choose Diablo 4.
25 minutes.
Like 5 minutes, you're like, this is boring. I'm going to go back to Marvel Snap. So I'm sure you just aggroed a few people out there, but
sure the Marvel Snap draw will fall off at some point. I don't know.
Not
when,
for me. The hooks are getting deeper and deeper every week, man.
And
I finally got She-Hulk, and man, so strong. I love a strong lady.
Man. Oh man.
She-Hulk snoo.
I'm just starting, so yeah, about that.
Well, you got a long ways to go. You got to catch up.
It's okay. If I make it there.
All right, guys. So some of our topics that we have for today, it looks like we have a game I played, and it looks like some of the guys wanted to build upon a game that some of us have been playing as well. We did want to touch on some of our updates to the high score Olympics that we kind of started at the beginning of this year. Most of them, I think, pertain more to Phoenix more than me and Gamer. So we're going to touch on that. It seems like we have quite an array of speedrun topics for this week. It's kind of weird because I actually thought prior to the last few days there wasn't much, and then just like today and yesterday, a wealth of stuff dropped into our laps.
No, it's just because you weren't doing your job keeping up to date with the news, and then I decided to go on.
Well, I only have a channel and a podcast, and I gotta keep.
Oh, don't make me list out my obligations, Chaz.
Oh, man.
Podcast hosting isn't one of them, so.
Ooh.
You know what? See you, Chaz. It was nice.
Bye.
No, now I gotta just talk to myself.
You do everything else with yourselves.
Did you do that already?
See how mean they are to me. I need. If you want to apply to be a new podcast host, feel free to leave anything down below.
Working conditions are about as good as working for Activision Blizzard.
Oh my God.
They're that good?
All right, Bobby.
I mean, you're already in my attic. What is it? My basement?
I'm the basement.
I'm the attic.
All right, let's move along.
Yeah. And then finally, our main topic is a couple of people here, not including me, got to go watch a new movie. Unfortunately,
He's so lame. He goes. I fell asleep last night.
I did fall asleep, but that's my excuse. I definitely fell asleep. And so yeah, what do you guys want to get right into? I don't know. MetalGamer said he had started playing some Marvel Snap. You want to touch on that?
Sure. It's kind of fun. I mean, I could see why you guys are getting into it.
It's very collective-y. It's all about getting everything.
Extremely. Like, I'm just like, man, that game gives you some little dopamine hits. Nasty ones.
And they do that thing where, like, you get a lot of it at first, right? And then they just slowly start pulling them back from you, and you start reaching a little more. Before you know it, you're, like, playing triple as long to get one thing.
Oh, my
hooked at that point. So
Yeah.
Once you
So,
start getting to
like,
the collector's caches, it's like, no.
Yeah, I'm not even near that. Like, I think I'm on like round 7 or 8 right now, and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get my bearings in it. So I've been playing around. I think I just got the thing. I'm like, oh, cool.
very
So,
early.
Yeah, very early in the game. So it's fun so far. I mean, I should have used it the other night when I was.
Have
at the
you
hospital.
have you started experimenting at all a little bit with some like different deck types? Have you started like noticing certain people using certain strategies against you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Probably hard at that point. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to recall back to like my first like starter deck they give you. There's not much in the way of like an archetype. It's just like whatever cards you get, you just
That's
use
it.
what you've got. Yeah.
Like I got like Star Lord and like what was a really really weak one? What is it like?
You get Nightcrawler pretty early. You
Yeah.
probably have Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, I got that one. And then yeah, you get all like a bunch of weak ones, but I haven't seen anybody using any weird strategies except for, hey, read whatever's in the middle and then try to counter that and then expect someone to throw more on top of that. So I was like, okay, I get it.
And that's kind of the point at the beginning. They don't want to overwhelm you with like, okay, so here's how you play a move style architect. Here's how you play, a destruction type. Like the point is now just learn that each card has a certain type of move and they behave slightly differently, and then learn how the location system works. So that's really the big thing right now.
Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely cards I noticed that early on I gravitated to. Like I remember early on a card I really loved was Uatu. I used to love Uatu, getting a little head start on everyone, kind of knowing the locations. Gosh, I think I got Hulk. I don't remember if everyone gets Hulk early, but I got him early.
I think I just
Everybody
got Hulk.
gets Hulk. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I just
okay.
got Hulk, and I ended up getting Punisher. That was an early one. It shows all the bullets coming out. It's like cool.
The animations are fun.
Yeah.
I think the thing too, when you get a card, like it's really hard to understand how good something's going to be. I remember like I don't know if I had gotten it or ChatZ had gotten it first. We post like, oh, we just got Apocalypse. I'm like, oh, that looks stupid. That looks like it's gonna be a terrible card.
Yeah.
And then it's not till you learn like how all the other cards work together that you understand what that card really does, and it ends up being like this super powerful card. But I guess my point being is like when you see a card, you probably don't have them yet. Yeah, I think you're still pretty early. But when you get a card, don't assume anything about it. Just like, okay, put it kind of in your backlog and be like, okay, one day let me revisit it, because as your understanding of the game changes, what that card can be used for is going to change as well.
I thought about that with like early on. Another card that jumped to my mind was Heimdall, and I was like, oh, Heimdall, well, it only moves the cards. It's not going to be useful. And then once you start learning about like movement and accurately placing locations, then you're like, oh, I love Heimdall or Magneto or something. Although Magneto is a later one for me. I don't know.
Yeah, the game paces itself pretty well with like how it teaches you new ways to play the game. That's part, I think, the trick. Like, there's a lot of times like I would get stuck in this rut and I'd always be playing the cards the exact same way, and then it drops this new card at you. Sometimes it does it strategically. Okay, everybody always gets that card, or you just get lucky and you get it early, and then it changes your entire play style around this new card. So it always teaches you something new until you kind of get into the late game. So
Very cool.
Yeah. So that's all. You're gonna continue playing it, gamer? You think, or are you just gonna kind of dipping your toes in?
A little bit. I have some other games that I've been kind of downloading, and I want to play. Diablo 4 is this weekend. So, like,
apparently Snap is better. I mean, ChatZ clearly thought it was a higher profile game than Diablo 4, probably the biggest release of the year.
Apparently, I wasn't just nagged about it for an entire weekend on how much somebody wants to play it so bad, and me spending $200 on some games.
It's also like the fact that it's more of a demo. Like, I don't know. Like, I would rather experience.
Man, that stuff. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that stuff carries over to the actual game.
Did it really? Because I thought you guys said it didn't. That's a reason why I was
I don't know, man. That's a beta.
I didn't know. We had our nephews over playing, and they never pay attention to anything. And they think they were saying that, I don't know if it carries over, but they never pay attention.
Usually betas do, man.
I mean, not that would have
maybe an alpha, no.
That may not have kept me totally playing, but I at least was like, I would rather play the full release. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'd be playing it, right? Like, if it was on now, I'd probably be jumping on it. Like, once I'm hooked on that game, that's it.
No one's stopping you.
Everything else.
You can leave and go do right now.
Oh, I can.
That comes out, June?
That's in July, June 6th.
It's June earlier in June.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
right.
That'll be here before you know it.
Mm.
Yep, that's coming quick. But no, they're having a.
Is that Zelda?
There.
Is that Zelda month? I think, right?
Zelda was May.
Is it May?
I think Zelda is May. I think it's
Okay.
May 24th or something like that.
Yeah, I think May's like. I think Zelda's like the first big release. Then it's
Then it's
Diablo.
And Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, and then after that, then you've got Starfield. Like you got
yeah.
like bam, 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 bam after that,
So-
and apparently Spider-Man 2 and all this
Yeah.
other stuff coming
Yeah.
out. So we'll get to that.
Yeah. Alrighty, so yeah, I would love to for us to come back to Snap Gamer down the line to see how much more you
Yeah,
like
definitely.
the review.
Before we hop off Snap, Chaz, did you look into the big game update they just did? All the changes?
I didn't play too much today. Was that today? Or was that
I
recent?
think the update went live yesterday. So I mean, it's very recent. Most of it you probably wouldn't notice. They buffed and nerfed a few cards. The big thing is how like right now you have that token shop where you could just buy.
Mhm.
So they've changed the way tokens work. So for one, if you're within kind of that early pool 3, which we are, they give you more tokens, which is good. But now you can't buy cards that are in pool 3. You can only buy cards from the token shop that are in pool 4 or series 4 or series 5. So what that really does is just let you get access to newer cards quicker. But then to kind of counteract that, every month or I guess every season, they just straight up give you a pool 3 card for free. Like yesterday, they gave me Arrow. That was the one I chose. I guess you can choose whichever one you want when it's live. Of course, I probably shouldn't have chosen Arrow because it got nerfed, but oh well. But point being, they're giving you free cards and they're giving you an easy way to buy cards. That's probably the biggest thing they updated.
Interesting.
So,
Good to know.
yeah, there's more. I'll let you read the notes, but I forgot to mention
Yeah.
that.
I think this weekend I definitely want to do a Snap stream. Since I've moved on from the next game I'm going to be talking about. I was playing the game Atomic Heart, and so I guess unfortunately for me this makes 2 games in a row I've kind of lost interest in. I went in from Hogwarts Legacy right into Atomic Heart, and I'm kind of disappointed. Those were 2 games I was very much looking forward to, and at least with Atomic Heart it kind of was going in the direction I wanted it to go in, and it very much didn't. Phoenix, did you get to see... I think what ultimately made me stop playing Atomic Heart is I went out of my way to watch SkillUp's video. Did you get to see his opinion on it?
I did. It didn't really sway me one way or the other. I wasn't super game for it anyway. I don't know. Something about it seemed off. Just watching it initially. Like, I know they were going for a very Bioshocky feel.
That's what I was going to say,
But something about it just didn't land. At least just watching the trailers and whatnot. Granted, I didn't play it, so I had no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever watched any of Skillup's videos, just
No.
YouTube reviewer. But I know we watch him a lot, and usually I am pretty well in line with his opinion on things. So when I did hear his opinion, it definitely didn't, sway me to try it even more. So
Yeah, unfortunately, what SkillUp in particular said that kind of... I wasn't kind of feeling the game anyways, and because he kind of led on that throughout the game, what you kind of expect is happening it happens, and the game doesn't really venture off. It doesn't do anything. Kind of what you expect happens, and I don't know. I think ultimately for me, what the downfall of the game is it is very to me it feels kind of basic, and the main character is not a I don't know, he's just not a very entertaining protagonist. It feels like kind of like he feels like a knockoff Duke Nukem, where he's constantly quipping, constantly kind of just saying things just to fill the air, and he is a very dumb character. He never catches on to things that should be super obvious, that are plot elements, and I don't know. I ultimately found myself not very interested, and the gameplay was fantastic. It's weird because it's the kind of game that I would think would absolutely draw me in. It had awesome customization. Well, not customization. It had awesome upgrading of weapons. It had a bunch of different abilities and powers that you can combine to do stuff. The combat and gunplay is fun. It's got a wide variety of enemies. Unfortunately, I think SkillUp he phrased it perfectly. It feels like this game kind of just throws everything at the wall in hopes that something sticks or something catches your attention that was utilized better in an older game or some other type of game, and the game is scattershot in terms of like the theming, in terms of some of the characters. I don't feel like it ever, like, it has all these different environments and different themes, but it moves on so quickly between like a cool environment or a cool set piece, you know what I mean? And it never really gives you time to kind of like fixate on something cool that you just saw, because it moves immediately on to something else, and everything looks cool, but I don't know. Again, I kind of felt like it was all over the place, and the dialogue's funny because I think it's a Russian game or a Russian game developer, which is an explanation why the game got postponed so many times, because I think they're Ukrainian or Russian. I don't know for sure. Munfish, but yeah,
I heard there's like a really saucy vending machine.
Oh yes, the vending machine. The vending machine constantly throws out these super cringy sexual innuendos, and it's like, it's something you would think sounds funny, but it never comes across as funny. It's more uncomfortable, and it's I don't know. Again, the game tries
Russian humor.
The game tries to have it tries to have personality, and it tries to be funny, but I don't know. It never succeeded in that for me, and maybe it could have been the translation. Maybe there was something lost in translation. But like, I don't know, the American lines and the delivery, everything just seems bad, and the protagonist is cringy and annoying. I don't know. That's kind of my overall thought. Is like, it was fun. There was like a lot of cool elements, but it doesn't. Just like the game for me that just didn't feel like it comes together. I don't know. Was there any interest on either of your parts? Did you guys care about this game at all?
I said not really. I was just checking. I wanted to check at the studio. So you have Munfish, headquartered in Cyprus, and his offices in Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Ooh,
so.
Yeah.
St. Petersburg. Really?
Yeah.
Just wanted to throw out Justus Phillips, the Cartoon King in chat, says hi. What's going on, Justus? Thanks for joining.
Howdy.
What were you gonna say?
God. Chaz, you got a viewer.
No, that was it. I don't know. Like, when I first saw the trailer for this, I mean, it had that kind of too good to be true feeling to it. There've been a few games that come out of like, it was trying so hard to look like something I liked, which just didn't settle well for me. Cause like,
it very much plays on that Bioshocky. Yeah.
It looked like Bioshock, and just everything about it, I'm like, this is not going to be Bioshock. Like, it felt like they were trying to pull the wool over my eyes the whole time. Maybe that was a bad read, I don't know, but it sounds like that was kind of the take on it. And here's the thing about like Bioshock. I mean, all of the gameplay was good in Bioshock. The narrative, I think, is what most people always remember about Bioshock. And I think just looking at this, it felt like it was going to be all kind of show, no substance. So even if they did somehow emulate the gameplay of this of Bioshock, I knew they weren't going to nail the writing and the narrative, because that was the whole point of Bioshock. Yeah. Not that Bioshock had poor gameplay, like, it was excellent. I think, honestly, like, Bioshock 2 was even better from a gameplay standpoint. But, I don't know, as I said, it just felt not manipulative. I mean, because it looks cool. It's just something about it, I don't know. It just didn't ring true to me. But to be fair, I mean, what you're saying, though, is that the gameplay was really solid.
The gameplay and gunplay is the highlight of the game. Like, the powers and everything, that's the highlight.
So I guess in a way, I kind of had a bad read on it, because I guess from at least visually what you see, you get what you see. I guess when I think about like a Bioshock-like game, I think about the narrative, and that's where I felt like this was probably not going to be there, and it sounds like that's kind of where it was.
That's where the game fails, is like, ultimately the narrative, it's very predictable. Not a lot of, again, when the game starts to throw a theme or throw a plot element at you, it rushes on to something else super quickly, and like, I don't know, everything feels very fast and rushed, and I don't know. And it also kind of,
that's a shame.
It also very much has like a lot of theming from Bioshock 2, where it's like you're in an alternative timeline where, you know, the USSR is on top, and you know, like very and
surprise.
Where like Anne Rain, you know, like that type of direction of timeline. It very much goes in that, where it's like, it's, you know, this other corporation smart guy wants to develop his own society and branch off. You know what I mean? It's like, what was his name? Oh, I can't remember BioShock characters.
Oh, Andrew Ryan?
Andrew Ryan. Yeah, it very much is like, this guy is very similar to Andrew Ryan. And I don't know. Juices Phillips in chat says, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? We're doing great. Getting a podcast, nothing better. But I think one last thing for me that I feel like this game could have been missing is how I said the main character feels like a knockoff Duke Nukem. The game feels too... It feels too quippy and too bright. Like, I feel like it could have used some of that, like, dark Bioshocky environments and themes, and they go very wacky with this one, and I don't know.
They should have taken themselves more seriously, is what you're saying.
It's tough to be wacky in like a world that is like super scary that they kind of build up, and it's
watching the trailers, like nothing about that really looks like some Duke Nukem style game. Like, it looked like it was going to be this dystopian kind of like dark kind of something. And apparently, you're saying it's not the case at all, which it seems like a weird kind of tone mismatch.
I definitely think the game's worth playing if you have any interest in any of those themes, and I don't know, maybe there's a way
It's on Gamepass too.
It's on
right?
Gamepass, so it's not like it's not hard to access, but I don't know. I'd be curious down in comments. I mean, is there anyone who like had the total opposite opinion of me? Because again, I didn't think it was bad. I think that's what's interesting about me kind of giving up on Hogwarts and this game back to back is like I didn't give up on them because they were bad games, but there was just something narratively, something not there that wasn't kind of pulling me through.
And you're not a real gamer, so.
And I'm not a real gamer because I never finished Elden Ring, only because of that game.
And you may never get a chance to play it again because I may never be able to force you to based upon these Olympic scores.
Oh boy.
But anyways.
Well,
Fair enough. I mean, does the fact that it was on Game Pass, though, make
makes it
any more favorable for you? Like, considering you pay, just your monthly subscription, like, does that make the game better in your eyes? Or you're still like, eh?
Compared to paying $60 at a store?
Yeah. I don't think it makes it better or worse. I just think it makes it easier to kind of... It makes it easier to when you get that feeling of you're not being sucked into the world. It makes it easier to kind of be like, all right,
Yeah. I guess what I mean by that is, like, my expectations are gauged very differently when I look at a game that, I can pretty much just play, quote-unquote, for free. I mean, I know you're paying the subscription, but I guess I get more enjoyment out of it, even if the game's technically, quantitatively not as good. Like, although I'm not saying that I'm going to hop out and play this game, like, the fact that I'm not going to have to go pay $50-$60 for it, I'd probably end up being relatively favorable for it. Like, I think that was part of my favor towards Hi-Fi Rush, even though I did just naturally enjoy Hi-Fi Rush.
I just liked Hi-Fi Rush.
The fact that it was free, pretty much, I think added a lot to it. But either way, that's getting off on topic a little bit.
Yeah, again, Atomic Heart is an interesting case where, like, there were elements there. There is something good there, but it just... I don't know. Again, for me, it all just doesn't come together.
So should they do a sequel and try to pick out what does work and fine-tune it, or just this IP should just die off?
Well, it's hard for me to say because I didn't finish the game. So I don't know how it ends. I mean,
so up to this point, do
I want more of it? I would love to see this developer make something else. Like, I don't know if I want them to continue on with this, but like, I don't know. Munfish, the game is like quality. It's quality. Everything operates great. The game looks good. It's just this game just didn't.
1 to 10. What do you give it?
This was like a 6 or a 7 for me, like somewhere around there. I mean, I guess if you put a gun to my head, I mean, maybe.
Where's the gun?
Where's that gun? I want to give it. You give game 10.
Goodness. Don't give you guys game dev jobs. Goodness. Gosh, I don't know. I would say a 6. Probably like it's above average. It just like, I don't know. It wasn't for me.
So anybody listening, what that really means is this is game of the year.
10.
If Chaz doesn't like it, then clearly this is a 10 out of 10. Rush out, sell your firstborn to play it. So.
And I will admit, part of me kind of feels bad for having kind of given up on it, especially after listening to Skillup's, opinion, but I don't know.
How many hours did you play it?
I played it. I did 3 streams. Last one was 4 hours, so I think it was like 7 to 8 hours. And I think I heard it
How
was
long's the game?
15. It's like a 15-hour.
Halfway. Okay.
And then he could finish it technically.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's to be fair, that's a fair chunk. If you only played for like 2 or 3 hours, but like if you played 5 to 7 hours, you probably got a good feel of the game.
I typically feel bad about quitting a game after an hour or two. Like I like to give it at least 5, especially if it's a longer game. Like anything over 5, I normally don't feel bad about quitting.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, there's a lot of games that
unless it's Elden Ring, then I don't feel bad.
No, I think most games if they're somewhat lengthy, you should give them a couple of hours because the game can change so much after those first few hours. Like your understanding of the game changes, and you need that kind of clicking moment to get what the game is trying to get. Now, I'm also in the camp though. If a game takes 10 hours to get good, it's not a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people would argue that. I mean, I think I came up with that kind of realization during Final Fantasy 13.
I was just gonna say Final Fantasy 13. Yeah.
Like, it was such a grind. I know I was going through the super linear section, and after you get past the linear section, it opens up, and it's great. That was like 10 to 12 hours, and I wasn't there, and I was just like, yeah, I'm done with this. So, but to each their own. And
again, like, part of me feels bad about giving it up due to Skillup's opinion, but, like, I don't know, sometimes when someone else's opinion is coinciding with how I'm feeling, it's like, well, yeah, this is kind of how I'm feeling, and you're this person's saying the same thing, I don't know.
So what he's also saying is, don't bother listening to Chaz. Go watch Skillup.
Go watch Skillup.
Wah, wah. All right,
let's move on.
Because Skillup has a bad channel. No one, there's nothing to be gained from Skillup. All right, so
start insulting him, Jurg.
I'm gonna send all my fans to hate raid on Skillup. All 2 of them.
All 2 of them.
We love you, fans.
All right.
We're just kidding.
Okay, so Phoenix, this is your moment. Take it away.
Oh no!
Come on, man, Kerbal.
So my Olympic scores are starting to trickle in, or at least on the outskirt. So I know, I think the first game that came out was Fire Emblem. That was mine. And what'd I get on it?
Looks like
80?
an 8. I updated these as of the 17th of this month. Those.
And we decided we're doing an average between the consoles, that we said, or average. Cause the Metacritic's a weird place because like you've got a Xbox version of the game and a PS5 version, a Switch version, and they all get done differently.
PC version.
Yeah. But the annoying thing is like I know for his Hogwarts, the Xbox version is like in the 90s, and
they're
the
all
PS5
three there.
version's in like the 80s something.
It's 83, 84, 88.
Yeesh.
Yeah. Either way, so Fire Emblem came out 80. Respectable. I'll take the low B. It's okay.
I didn't update Kerbal though, because you'll explain, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then Hogwarts, I think, came out after that. And it looks like you're averaging between an 83 and an 88, so like 85-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
So right now you're sitting a little higher than I am. Resident Evil 4, that started coming out, so that one's doing pretty good right now, right? 93.
I mean, that game is obviously going to be really good regardless. Like
Yeah.
we already knew from the get-go.
I didn't realize you picked up.
Saves me here.
You picked a lot that's
I mean,
coming
what's
out
going to
early
save
in
you
the
is
year.
going to be the Zelda game. We all know that hands down.
Yeah, I think I was trying to do that so I just knew they were games that would come out this year. Of course, now I'm nervous. So those are my 2 winners right now. Now I've got 2 potential big losers. I don't know. So the first one that came out, I think, like end of February, was Kerbal Space Program 2, which I thought that was going to be a pretty sure thing.
I
like,
thought that too.
First game, super solid. And I'm just like, okay, if they just build exactly off of that and just add a little more to it, everybody's going to love it. Apparently this thing came out in early access, which I didn't even realize it was coming out in early access. That's why I based my whole choice on. So now I'm worried it's not even going to come out this year, like in full version.
No.
I think it's still supposed to, but this early access is not going good. It's come out with less features than the first game. I think some things are broken. So people are review bombing it, even though it's not technically officially out yet.
Oh no.
So that could hurt. I don't know. The good thing, the good and bad thing. So early access means they're not getting any full-fledged reviews just yet. So assuming they fix it and it polishes it up and still releases it this year, maybe this still ends up in the 80s, something like that. But yeah, there's a chance I'll just get a flat 0 on this if this doesn't end up coming out. If it's that bad and they have to push it back. So
I mean, it's been how long since the first one? Like
Oh, it's been a long
years?
time. I don't know if it's been quite 10, but it's been a long
it's been
time.
a long time. And the first one I remember, people,
Yeah.
so good, so good.
So I think that's more just kind of disappointing, really surprising. I thought this would be a fairly. I wasn't think it was going to get like a 95 or anything, but I'm like, this is going to be a solid like mid 80s. I think the first one was like high 80s or something like that. So I don't know, we'll see. But that one's now very much in kind of the wait and see category. And the other one is Suicide Squad. So they had their big release, not release, but reveal gameplay stuff a few weeks ago during what was it, the PlayStation Direct or whatever
It wasn't delayed due to poor reception, they claim.
That's what they're saying, yeah.
Boy.
So yeah, a lot of people were not huge fans of the gameplay. I thought it looked fine. I don't know. I mean, it was very gun heavy. I think there's people upset about. They're like, we want to see more powers, but regardless, there was a lot of pushback about that.
You're just shooting purple bubbles. That's all people were saying.
And maybe, I mean, it's hard to judge the gameplay until you get your hands on it, but fair enough. And now they've announced there is a pushback on it.
Oh, man.
And you're right. They're saying that it's not because of, the poor reception it got. Because from my understanding, that unless they're going to push this game off like a whole another year, which the fear is this might slip into 24.
Oh, man.
I don't think it will. I think they probably have a lot riding on it just because they put so much marketing in it already. They probably already have it kind of set up as some pillar game to be released this year. I think they'll push it out before the end of the year, but I don't know what kind of state it's going to be in, so we'll see. That one's also now kind of up in the air. I'm still hoping it will end up in the 80s. Like, even if it comes out and the gameplay isn't what people are wanting, and, I know they're upset because it could have, like, live service features on it. I'd be very surprised if it's still not a competent game. Like, it's Rocksteady. That was my whole reason for choosing them. Every Rocksteady Batman-like game has been pretty solid. Yes, they've had issues for, like, PC releases and stuff like that, and I know a lot of people didn't like Arkham Knight, but if you look at all three of the Arkham games, they're all really good games at least a core level. So I'm hoping that is enough to kind of carry through here and save Suicide Squad. I don't know. So I've got I have one really strong game in Resident Evil, an okay game in Fire Emblem, but Kerbal and Suicide Squad, that could be my kiss of death. So
no
bueno.
I've still got Zelda though, and unless
it's gonna be hard to mess up.
Yeah, unless they really drop the ball there, which I can't imagine. Like,
I don't think so, man. I think they're gonna do fine with that one.
Yeah, all they have to do, in my opinion, for most people, would be just repeat what they did, because most people already look at Breath of the Wild as like the best Zelda game ever. For me, I like them to do what they did and add some dungeons to it, like some real dungeons, and then best Zelda ever. But
which they show a little bit of something there, so hope that's cross fingers.
Yep. So anyways, that's kind of our update. So you've got the one game, Hogwarts Legacy, which you're averaging in the mid-80s, so you're pretty solid. You're standing in a safe spot, and you got some big ones coming out too. I mean, Spider-Man 2, I think is going to look good. Starfield's probably your iffiest one. We'll see.
That one's been kind of like, that one's been flopping back and forth too.
Yeah, that one I think is kind of in a similar boat as like Suicide Squad. Like it's in a weird kind of gray area. Hades 2 will probably be good for you, and Hollow Knight will
if
probably
Hades
be good.
2 and Silksong come out, I hope they do this year.
I think Silksong will. Hades, I don't know. I know they said this year. I'd be surprised if it did not. That's not a developer I think has ever had much in the way of delays, but
yeah, they've been doing pretty good.
And then Metal, you've got Final Fantasy 16, a couple of months out.
Yep.
Final Fantasy Rebirth,
Diablo.
Diablo 4, Baldur's Gate, and Armored Core.
That's the last one.
You got a couple of themes in here, some Final Fantasies and some dungeon crawlers. Yeah. So, well, then Armored Core, which Armored Core is a Souls-like, isn't it, Chaz? If you're watching this at any point,
I got a feeling you're one of those.
You're
one of those mean comments on my Armored Core video.
Go watch Chaz's reveal or reaction trailer to the Armored Core. Was it Armored Core? What number are they on?
I think it was 4.
Is it 4? That was
5.
I think it's 5. Either way, go watch that reaction. It has like the most views on his channel and the most hate I think I've ever seen, because he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to like another Souls-like," and he just gets destroyed.
Again, people saw that, and then immediately after, I was like very optimistic about it, and then people were still like, they fixated on the first portion.
It's the internet,
Yep.
though. Like,
Yeah.
there is no give or take. Like, you slip up, and they are going to call
They're
you.
gonna
Even
eat
if
you alive.
99% of what you say is perfectly fine, or you're apologetic, they don't care. They're going to tear you down for the one thing. So
I even was like
That was
disappointed
fun.
at first, and then it clicked, and I'm like, oh, but what if this isn't Dark Souls? Like, I was like, I love mechs, and I want to shoot, and I don't know, whatever. It's not that big a deal.
I love the comment too. Like, there's one comment while I was reading through this stuck as like, this nerd sitting here with like every PS2 game ever made behind him, and he doesn't know what Armor Core is. And I bet you on that shelf, you've got an Armor Core just sitting there,
I
just
might.
staring in your face. I've got.
You got
I've
the first one for PS.
2. I've got Armor Core 2 up there.
They didn't call me a nerd. I don't think
They
they
got
did.
the other things.
I called you a dweeb is what's up.
All right. Anyway,
let's
that's
move
our Olympic update.
Well, I'm looking forward to Diablo 4. That's the first release that's coming out. Then Final Fantasy 16. So we'll see where we're sitting at.
I wanted to give Phoenix
And I think Baldur's Gate is on. They're on. What is it? Beta right now.
Yeah, they've been like early
For a long time.
access forever.
Yep.
So
But they've been super quiet. Quiet. So we'll see. I mean, I like Dungeon Crawlers and stuff. So
that was a fun
yeah,
update.
they've got a low key, pretty solid list there. Like they all have a lot of potential to do really well. So
I still
the only
don't think
thing that scares me.
remake.
Final Fantasy 7.
Remake's
That's
not
the
coming
only
out.
one.
I don't think that's coming out this year.
Just because.
well, they said it. Well, they said it was
winter.
Winter could be January. I think it depends. What else? So the reason they would push it back, more than likely, beyond just it not being done, is if there's another big game coming out.
When has there
that they don't
ever
wanna
been
kind
two
of share.
Final Fantasy games out in 1 year?
I'm trying to think if anything came out when 14 came out. Because 15 didn't come out at the same time.
So, yeah, it was later. I mean, 14.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. I don't know, man.
I mean, this is not like. I mean, this is a numbered entry, but not a numbered entry, right? Because it's not like one of the next ones. It's a different spin-off territory.
Well,
so
I'm not trying to crap on you. I mean, I don't know.
I am. All right, moving on. Speedrun.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on to our speedrun topic. So here we go. So it looks like I think just before we started, Phoenix added a couple topics. We're gonna move right into those. Oh shoot, where's my timer? Here it goes. All right, you guys ready? Three, 2, 1. Start. All right. So speedrun topic numero uno. This is actually just fresh news, but apparently Justin Roiland had his what was it? The charges of domestic battery and false imprisonment. If I remember, he had I think those are the ones that got dropped. I'm assuming.
Yep. Case was dismissed.
Yeah. Dismissed.
Yeah, and it was dismissed due to, I guess, lack of substantial evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So, and to be fair, I mean, it can be tricky to prove that kind of stuff. A lot of times it comes down to just like testimony, and that once again, then it's just one person saying against another. So maybe they would have worried it wouldn't hold up, especially coming out of. I mean, you just had the herd depth thing not long ago, so I think people's kind of gauge on that is a little shifted now. So.
So everything's good now, right? He's back in charge of Rick and Morty, and he gets his
I
game.
don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. And I don't think he's going back to Squanch anytime soon either.
No, I think just like what they did with Depp. I mean, they burned a lot of those bridges immediately, for better or for worse. I mean, you're getting just general cancel culture, but I mean, there's still some really sketchy stuff about this guy. Like beyond just the
I was just gonna say
he's
not a.
The texts that he sent out, that if they're legit, once again, it's hard to prove any of it because anybody can post anything online. So you got to give at least some benefit of the doubt. But if there's any justification in any of it, there's some scumminess happening there. So I'm not saying this is a good, bad, or somewhere in between, but I don't think Justin Roiland really comes back from this. I think this is something where he needs to lay low, kind of ride off to the sunset, and be the end of it.
Maybe come back in 10 years and do something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this might help the Rick and Morty taste in people's mouth just a little bit, because I think a lot of people were just flat out just done with Rick and Morty. They were already, kind of like, nah, I'm not going to bother with it. With this being the wayside, maybe that will make people more optimistic to still buy into the show with whatever changes they make.
Even though he's been found, or the case is thrown out, I still think it's, no hate towards him, but like I still think it's probably a positive for Rick or Cartoon Network or Adult Swim and Squanch Games, because I feel like he seems like he's gonna consistently be a problem, no matter what. I mean, he's been an issue multiple times. I don't know. Again, I don't want to throw hate at him, but
it's hard because you definitely, if you're gonna believe in the system at all, you gotta believe in the innocent until proven guilty. But it's hard with the internet now. I mean, whether it be lies you're looking at or truth or whatever is being thrown out there, it's hard to sift through it all now, and it's easy to create an opinion based on something that may or may not be 100% accurate. But
yeah,
I don't know. That's the best thing for this guy at this point. Lay low, ride out. He's gonna earn royalties, I'd imagine, off Rick and Morty till he dies. So it's not like he needs to do anything big. Maybe he lives and still is a scumbag, or maybe he's a good-hearted guy. I don't know.
He is still.
He just needs to go off.
He is still very talented and creative. So someone will give it a year or two after laying low, and someone will throw money at him to head their creative team, or you know what I mean. Some
Probably.
company.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna move on to topic number 2. So this one was kind of interesting, but as it turns out, the Pokemon Company has begun its adventure of looking to hire someone with NFT knowledge. So apparently they had a job posting that essentially had them looking for somebody who had deep knowledge of blockchain, NFTs, and Web3. So of course this has a lot of people kind of on edge about what exactly this means. I mean, I guess you kind of know what that means.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this something we should all be worried about?
Sounds like something I should be able to get a job at.
So you're the scummy NFT guy we got to worry about.
My research on NFTs, and I know a little bit of what.
In order to get the job, you have to show them your crypto balance. If it's not over X amount, they don't want you.
Crypto balance in my NFT galleries.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh man. I mean, that's a huge market right now. It's been a huge market for the last 3 years, and it exploded within the last 2. It's been crazy.
Well,
I'm not surprised that they're jumping into this.
It makes a lot of sense.
I mean,
from a
business
business standpoint.
If you consider the Pokemon demographic.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been easy for a lot of gamer culture to look at NFTs and be like, ooh, gross, because the people that bought into it are usually outside investors that have been trying to puff up the market and then pump and dump kind of thing, which is a pretty scummy thing. And if you look at it from I'm buying this digital piece of art, that falls a little flat, I think, for a lot of gamers, because it's a JPEG, right? So the artistic value of that, I think, is arguable at best. Where I think it gets a little different, and where I think gamers are going to get sucked into, if you could have an NFT version of your favorite Pokemon, which has stats and has breeding capabilities and is a shiny or whatever it is, and then you can sell it. There, from a gamer perspective, is some inherent value, whether you agree with that or not. There are people who will pay $10,000 for a shiny Charizard, perfect IVs, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
you're the first original owner for that thing.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a big deal.
Now, still, the whole issue is, there's been a lot of scams with NFTs. I was reading about it too. There's what's kind of a knockoff Pokemon mobile game, or maybe it wasn't mobile, it was a PC game. I don't remember what the name of it was, but they just got they lost all the money or something like that, or they lost access to a bunch of stuff. People lost out all their quote unquote investments. So NFTs are still tricky because there is still hackable stuff that can occur here, and you can lose your investables. I don't know.
Because wasn't it with Seth Green? Seth Green went through that where he lost his
yeah, it was a separate thing, but yeah, someone stole or hacked. I don't remember exactly.
We did a topic on that on an early episode. I remember.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I am not surprised. I think it's a matter of time, kind of thing. I'm even thinking now. Okay, Marvel Snap. I could imagine them doing NFTs.
My gosh, that could totally be a thing.
Marvel will get into that big time.
I mean, it's not quite as unique as Pokemon, but Pokemon are truly so unique. If you really look at it from all of the values and whatnot, I can really see how that would be a whole ecosystem they could buy into. So, I don't know. I get it. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I get it, and it's going to make them a lot of money.
There's a lot of companies that have been trying to do blockchain like games and things of that nature. So I'm not surprised that they're hitting.
Well, that was remember Ubisoft Quartz or whatever.
Oh yeah, they're all about it.
All about
and
it.
you know, there's a thread in there that part of me wants to jump on board with, and like, you know what, I can kind of get how there's a value there to something, but I think it takes the fun game aspect away from gaming, because now it becomes about making money, right, or investing or whatnot, and it's no longer, it's going to make competing a lot harder now, because instead of just like you play a game, you earn, you capture your MaN, you can just go out and pay $100,000 to have a perfect MaN. Like I think that's where you start getting into some weird gray area where money's going to impact the enjoyability of these games. Even if the system works out perfectly and you're not worried about losing your investment, it's just going to affect, at some level, someone's enjoyment of the game. Even if they say it's not going to, like you have all access to all the Pokemon you own, you can still go out and capture them. The fact that somebody could go pay and get it and incorporate it into the game,
it's not surprising.
I don't know.
Pay to play it? That's nothing new.
Well, who was it? Was it one of the Sony execs? I think it was one of the Sony execs. No, I'm sorry. Square Enix execs who were basically saying like, not everybody plays games to have fun. They were basically saying that, that people might want to play this as a way to make money, and
I guess.
Inherently, okay, sure, that's an option, but that shouldn't be a primary option.
Well,
games should be about having fun.
Well, the interesting
escapism.
The interesting aspect to the timing of this is like all of a sudden in this last like month or two, you see all of these companies that are like freshly seem like they're introducing NFT oriented projects and stuff, and it's so funny because like, I don't know if you know this, but the NFT market apparently this like last 6 months has like crashed. So it's all of these companies that have like probably had begun setting all this in motion like a year or two ago, and because they have large investments in it, they're like, we have to continue supporting this or else we lose a bunch of money.
I think few, at least from a gaming perspective,
Pokemon makes sense because it's Pokemon, but
few of them have had something I think on offer that would really capitalize. The Ubisoft Quartz game was for a new Ghost Recon game or something. I don't remember what it was. Some game that was brand new, nobody really cared about. Like you would earn like armor in the game. Like that wasn't going to have a mass appeal, especially long term. Pokemon though, the biggest franchise on the planet, like you now have something people will want. You think about that. That's going to bring back people's. Oh no, man! Now my heart's hurt just thinking about that. So if there was ever a chance for this to succeed at a gaming level, this is probably it, because now there is something really viable and really just appealing to gamers I don't think was there before.
Gotta spend it all.
Gotta spend it all.
Oh man, what if they integrate that nonsense inside of Pokemon Go? Like that would be.
Well, they'll probably do it across the board.
They could probably do it. It's totally possible.
Either way, all right, let's see if we can get a few more of these topics in. So that was only 2.
So next we're going to move on to, if you didn't hear, Marvel's Spider-Man. Let me switch over. Alright, so we're going to move on to Marvel's Spider-Man. Apparently, the second game had a really odd release date from basically the Venom actor, Tony Todd, who basically gave a quote, where he says right here, he tweeted out, looks like September. Massive publicity coming in August. Commercials start dropping in August, so I'm told. Hold on to your hold breath. Going to be necessary.
Poor guy just broke that NDA. He's going to be not in good shape.
Yeah, so
that's pretty bad.
So
this has happened before. Go ahead, Chaz. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying he seems like he let the cat out of the bag. September for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I mean, and ultimately, I don't think that's going to negatively impact the game. I mean, people who want to play Spider-Man are going to want to play Spider-Man. If anything, it just gives them confirmation it's coming out. I mean, Sony, of course, probably won't like it because they want to control kind of the marketing swing, and they don't want to overshadow other games that will be coming out around that time. So I'm sure they're not happy about it.
Venom's probably going to sound different in Spider-Man 3. They're going to go back to Topher Grace or whatever.
I was gonna say, just get up. Oh, what's his face? Who's the current
Hardy
Venom right now?
Tom Hardy.
Yeah. Man, those movies.
No boy.
Anyway, I don't know. It doesn't, I think, affect any gamer negatively, but it's gonna affect that poor voice actor. So, rip Todd.
Bye.
Rip Todd.
What an NDA.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I'm happy
it's just
because I
fun to
need
laugh about
I need that score. I need that score bad.
Yeah. You'll probably get it on that one, man. Both those past games have been good.
Yeah.
All right, next one. And I can help you kind of speed run through it just to kind of
Go ahead. Jump right into the next one.
So just real quick, Counter-Strike 2 was announced, which if you're a Counter-Strike person, which there are millions of, it's still it's the biggest game on Steam for the most part, right?
Does this mean Valve can make a sequel?
Well, they made plenty of sequels. They haven't made many threequels.
Yeah, that's
right.
actually really true. Now I think about that, because even Alex is not even considered a 3 of Half-Life,
even though it pretty much is.
Yeah, but they never said it. They never put a number on it.
So big deal. It's a huge game. As if you're, a Steam user, you're into the competitive FPS kind of scene.
Did they really need to make a sequel? I mean, I know that game still has like a concurrent, crazy base that like.
So it depends, and I haven't looked at what these updates or features are going to be, but the game was old. It was well over 10 years, and if you're comparing it to modern game engines that. Maybe people are trying to run it now in 4K. Maybe they're trying to add ray tracing. Maybe whatever it is. I mean, there are modern features that that old engine probably couldn't handle very well. But you're right. It's hard when you have to think about shifting an entire player base over to it. I know with this game in particular, there's like a whole skin economy that people probably aren't going to want to give up unless those skins carry over to the second game. So, and I haven't read the full article, so maybe that's in there.
And if they did that,
they probably should. If they want this to be an easy transition, they should have that hopefully built into the framework where it's an easy transition.
Yeah, people are still playing RuneScape, so.
Well, it's true. I mean, a good game or a game that has a community will live on forever.
People are still playing freaking Second Life.
Yeah,
and that's a real thing.
So I think probably the bigger issue is, this is not bigger issue, but probably a bigger reason for the update. This is a highly competitive game. There were probably some competitive reasons for engine updates. Maybe it'll work with modern machines, or maybe add some security features, I would imagine. So an engine update for something with that much just kind of optics, I think was probably a good thing. But yeah, it's a big shift.
Yeah.
All right, 30 seconds. Can we get one more topic in?
Hit the last topic.
Redfall, no longer potentially always online, and no PS5 version.
No.
Oh,
yay!
I guess.
Sorry,
the always online. I mean,
I don't.
My thing about that, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. People just always get up in arms. They're always online. Most games are always online now, so big whoop. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, there's our time.
Oh no, that's not the sound. I want this one.
Oh, we didn't get to go through Metal's topic.
He threw one on.
Bayonetta solves a low birth rate.
Yeah.
All right, we won't go through it, but if you are surfing through it...
Just say the topic. We don't have to talk about it. What was the...
The Bayonetta director put out a statement saying that the new Bayonetta Origins game, whatever it's called...
Yeah.
Is that La Cereza?
Low birth rate.
Or something?
Yeah, it's supposed to solve the low birth rate of Japan.
Yeah. That guy's a weird guy. He makes some very weird offhand comments, but that was a funny one.
It is a funny one. If you're surfing through Kotaku, if you find it, you gotta read it. It's great.
It's such a shame we
make you chuckle.
We can't build upon that topic.
What was the comment that you said? It said that.
Oh, it was like, I don't know if I still have it up.
Oh man.
I was reading the article and some guy was just like, "Oh man, I was really looking forward to this game, but I don't know if I can handle the pressure of getting Japanese people pregnant." So I don't know. I think there's just gonna be some fun comments around that story.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty, so we got one topic left. What was it? 2 days ago, you guys got to go watch the movie Shazam. This is
time ever. I'm just saying.
One of the times where I actually haven't seen it, so I don't mind having some things spoiled just to kind of throw that out there. What did you guys think? Is it the best DC movie ever made?
You go first, man.
I mean, I like the first one a lot, but this one was really it was okay. I mean, I can't really say that it's not a bad movie. It just, there were some things that were a little weird. Like I think what was it, Zachary Levi? That's his name.
Chuck.
It's Levi.
Levy, whatever.
I don't know.
Sue me. He was a little more uppity in this movie. Like his personality is a little too Little, unlike the first one was kind of.
I haven't watched the first one in so long. I think I know what you're saying. Like the
overacting.
kid being an adult kind of shtick thing. It seemed a little more heavy-handed in this one. Like not as natural as it could be. Like I mean, the whole premise is that he's a kid trapped in it, not trapped, but in an adult's body.
He's trapped.
But I think you're right. Like maybe the first one it was just more novel at the time.
Yeah.
And in this one, like seeing Zachary Levi, whatever, try to pretend to be a teenager. I think what made it almost worse is the kids have aged up in this movie. Like the Billy Batson.
Batson. I think it is.
Baxter.
Yeah. So he's like about to turn 18 in this, which I don't remember exactly how big of a jump that is. But you know, as an 18-year-old, there is a level of maturity you would expect there.
Yeah.
And I feel like Zachary, or at least Shazam's portrayal of that, it almost aged him down. He didn't seem like he was pretending to be an 18-year-old kid. He seemed like he was pretending to be a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So I said it just felt a little more heavy-handed, but
yeah, and I mean, considering that he pretty much has to have a lot more responsibility since he is pretty much the key holder to the powers, pretty much amongst the entire group, and he tries to be like the leader, and tries to corral like his siblings from becoming a little too egotistical, which it shows that all of them are becoming more. Oh, I guess I don't feel like doing this right now. Like they're kind of like shifting off.
I don't know if it's egotistical. I think the whole kind of premise of this movie is Billy is afraid that his family is going to leave him. Like in the last movie, if you recall,
what was the theme? Was like family coming together in the last one?
Yeah, the first one was like family coming together. Yeah, he games his family, and now this one, like because all his siblings have powers, they're all now growing up trying to do their own thing with the powers, right? Be their own people, and Billy's trying to hold them together. I think because he's worried he's about to age out of the system, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, there are a few that are being egotistical, but I think it's more just like they're growing apart, and he doesn't want to let go, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he has to learn that family will endure, kind of storyline.
At least that's the premise of the majority of the movie.
So was this better or worse than the last Shazam movie? Because I wasn't a big fan of the last one.
I thought the last one was fine. I didn't love or hate it. It was fine. I was actually really surprised you called me to go see this. I didn't know you guys liked the first one as much as you did.
Joey liked it a lot.
It wasn't bad. I just I was kind of lukewarm on it.
Yeah, and I feel like this one for me was about the same.
About the same, give or take.
I mean, I know a lot of people liked the first one better in several cases. I know at the time it critically I think did pretty well, the first Shazam movie.
Yeah.
I think because it was kind of like that breath of fresh air for DC. Like you were just coming out of like Batman vs Superman and Martha and all that. So I think getting Shazam at that time was really good. Even if the movie itself, you could argue it's quality. I think we pretty much just got that again, maybe a little lesser. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think now we're just kind of past that point, so it doesn't stand on its own quite as well.
Was the last Shazam movie, was that the movie that ended with a worm guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, the caterpillar.
Was there anything in this movie? Is that answer?
So, should I spoil it?
No, spoil it.
Oh my god. So, there literally had zero to do with it.
So, okay. That was I think it was a post-credits
I call this
scene.
guy Merlin. I'm just going to say I call the guy Merlin because I know him from The Kingsman.
Yeah.
That's all I know him as. Like, he's fantastic in The Kingsman. And in this movie,
Are you talking about the old wizard guy?
Name. I'm terrible.
You talking about the old wizard?
No, the guy who's bald. The bald.
No, the bald white dude.
The one who gets.
I'm not thinking of the
talking to the worm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, there's literally zero mention until the final end credit
of this movie.
No joke.
Yeah. So it's a post-credit scene in the first movie, and it ends up being a post-credit scene in the second movie.
Yes, and that's it.
And
it says "in due time" at the end of the thing too. Like it's like really?
Yeah, they just kick that can down the road a little bit further. So
yeah, so it's like
I think that road's ended. I don't think there's anywhere to kick the can.
Well,
that's
what I thought was interesting. That's one thing I wasn't sure about this movie was this going to be at all in Gunn's canon? apparently, at least to an extent,
There
it
might be.
is. He's keeping around some of this.
Because
the only
Gunn is best friends
I
with
have a
you.
feeling they'll continue with it. Like, I think if he takes it, he's gonna probably take it into that
Well, because
direction.
Gunn
Because
and
it's gotta go somewhere.
Gunn and Levi are like best friends outside of work or something. From what I
That's
understand.
interesting. I did not know that. That's interesting.
Not best friends,
I'm
but like
curious.
they're really they like each other. So.
Close.
Yeah.
I mean, they might do a Shazam 3. I'm not sure if they'll go that route. They had a mid-credit scene, which I thought was interesting. And I haven't watched this show yet, but you know that the Peacemaker show with John Cena?
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
I've been wanting to watch that.
So I would imagine Gunn is keeping most of that, because, Gunn directed the second Suicide Squad, and he kind of stemmed off with that Peacemaker character. I don't know if he has anything to do with the TV show. You guys can correct me if you know. But there's a post or mid-credit scene that ties that in to Shazam. Like a couple of those characters from Peacemaker, they end up interacting with Shazam like for just a brief moment, trying to pull him into the Justice Society.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what that's really going to do, if it's just a way to kind of weave him into that thread so Shazam's still relevant in the Gunn universe.
I think that's what's going to happen, because that was really what the pull was, at least from the article that I sent you.
Yeah.
That seems like that was the road, and if they take it further, that's probably going to be the direction they're going to pull.
Yeah.
Hands down.
And I think I read in a spoiler that there was some sort of Wonder Woman cameo or something.
Oh man, I read that.
What exactly is she? What does she just show up for a minute?
Crap. Man, no, not even actually. She had quite a few minutes of role in this movie.
Is it
There's
Gal
one
Gadot or
really-
is it somebody
man.
else?
So, okay, there's two spots in the movie that have quote-unquote Wonder Woman.
Oh my god.
The first one's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain it?
Is it
or-
a fake? It's a fake Gal
It's
Gadot
actually
or-
it was in a movie, like in a, what is it, in a dream, in a dream thing, and he
Oh,
was,
I
like,
heard about
on
this.
a date.
Yeah.
He was on a date with her. And he goes, "Oh well, I don't know if we should even be together, blah blah blah." But it has no head.
Yeah. Well, this time, so they show them like sitting at a restaurant.
Yeah.
You only see the back of her head. She stands up, and it's clearly Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, like from the body and armor and everything. And they kind of pan up to her shoulders, and then right as they're about to show her head,
It cuts off.
well, it's not that it cuts off. The wizard dude.
Oh,
from the
yeah,
first
yeah,
movie,
that's right. His
He's
face
trying to get
comes
a
off.
hold of Billy, so he gets into his dream, and Gal Gadot's head becomes his head.
Yes.
So it's the old wizard dude with the
Yeah,
dreads and
that's
everything
right.
on Wonder Woman's body.
Oh,
And
that was so.
the
funny.
CG is kind of bad, but it's kind of great all at the same time. So that was actually a pretty funny moment.
Yeah, that was a killer moment.
DC's DC's CGI and the look of their movies is so odd. Like, have you seen the trailers of The Flash? And you've seen Michael Keaton moving around? It's like,
Yeah,
I don't know what it is with their movies.
I don't know if it's just their movies. 'Cause Marvel, their CG's been kind of. I think a lot of them are just trying to rush.
I forgot about Ant-Man.
I think just good CG talent right now is just being driven to the ground. Like their workload is so heavy, their schedule is so demanding that it's probably hard to crank out super high quality stuff, because I don't think these studios are giving any of them quite enough time.
I heard the new Avatar looked fantastic, but again, that movie took like
James
15
Cameron
years.
took like 15 years.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, and then there was another Gal Gadot cameo at the end where it's straight up Gal Gadot, so she is in the movie at the end. Her role's not real important. I mean, well, it kind of is. She brings him back to life.
Yeah, she brings him back to life after him dying.
Yeah, he dies, but you know he's not going to stay dead when he dies. It's one of those kind of things. I don't know, but her inclusion felt a little weird because...
Well, like I mentioned to you, like that same article mentions that I think what was it? Who was the director?
Gunn.
Yeah, Gunn. Apparently, she was not even supposed to be in that part of the movie, using her face. Like it was supposed to actually just be some sort of cameo, but without the face. And they did that without him knowing.
So he was on a lunch break. They pulled in Gal Gadot and got a few shots.
Got a few shots, and then it's like, wait a minute, that was not supposed to happen.
It's all super interesting. Did you read about Ben Affleck? Because he was supposed to be brought on to direct a James Gunn or a new DC movie, and Ben Affleck was like, or he like had some like kind of like thunderous tweet where he's like, "I'm not doing that. I would never do that," or something. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. So like they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, there's definitely some confusion here with like what's sticking around, what's not. And I'm not sure how much of these movies right now are just kind of like holdover, some stuff that was already done versus stuff Gunn's actually deciding to do. Like I just saw Black Adam recently, which I don't recommend Black Adam.
Oh, I heard that was not Black.
Well,
but it had.
Well, there is a certain character I recommend. But...
Oh boy, what are you saying?
Well, are you talking about the cameo? 'Cause that's what I was about to say.
Oh no, I'm joking. I'm joking for a certain character from the first movie. Darren.
Black Adam.
Darren.
I didn't say Ant-Man.
Oh, I thought you said Ant-Man. Oh shoot, sorry.
Walk, walk.
Anyway, Black Adam had the Henry Cavill cameo at the end. Granted, that was, I guess, just prior to Gunn. I don't know. It's a weird time because you're coming out of this clear setup that DC was trying to do to like breathe in some new life to these Snyder characters, and then you've got Gunn trying to pull them out while still keeping a couple. Like, I think the big one that's going to give us a better feel for what's going on is going to be the Flash movie, because as soon as they bring all the multiverse stuff, they can do whatever they want, right? They can mix and match characters, jump universes, rewrite history if they want. So we'll see what Gunn really has in play, I think, after that.
Well, today also there was an article that popped up where Levi kind of admitted that he was supposed to be in Black Adam, and apparently The Rock ixnayed his cameo in that movie. So it's like, what are y'all doing? Why is The Rock getting say in who's in his movie?
Because The Rock's The Rock.
Like, The Rock, dude.
I think The Rock's involvement is what hurt that movie, though, because he clearly wanted that to be this super just, man, this movie's so bad, so awesome kind. That was the whole feel the whole time, but it was so just on the nose that that's what they were trying to do that everything felt flat. See if I can pull his
quote up, what he said exactly.
But no, I think having Shazam in there probably would have added a little bit of levity or just a little connectivity it needed. Because I don't think the Black Adam movie or story stood on its own real well.
It just says that Zachary Levi throws shade at Dwayne Johnson amid reports that The Rock refused to let Black Adam characters cameo in Shazam 2. So it was the opposite. So The Rock didn't want his characters in the Shazam movie. Which that would have been that would have
characters like there weren't even that many characters. I don't know. Well, it sounds like unless there's something I don't understand, The Rock might just be straight up out anyway, unless they pursue the Black Adam side of things. I don't think they should. Like, I don't think they will. Like, I don't think that movie did well.
He needs to
be wrong.
He needs to go back to the Scorpion King. Just do it.
Yeah. Back to his roots. Okay. I don't know. I guess overall, I didn't think the new Shazam was bad. If you really temper your expectations, just it doesn't take itself too seriously, which I think is nice. It at least is not trying to be this broody thing. Whereas I said, like the Black Adam. Sorry, it's ingrained in my head. Like it was trying so hard to be something that I think it just kind of lost sight of being a good movie. Shazam at least was trying to have some fun with stuff. It was cheesy. A lot of times a little too cliche, but if you just take it for what it is. It has some moments that were fun. It has some endearing parts to it.
Yeah, it was a fun movie.
Shazam wins in the end by bringing his family together. They defeat the evil sisters.
He pushes his family away. Says, "No, you guys need to go be your own people."
Yeah,
it was and like I need to stand up and do whatever. I don't know. It was kind of a flip flop of the end of the first movie, where the first one he brought them together. This one was like, "No, I need to protect you by doing this on my own," kind of thing. So I don't know.
I know there was one.
I did not like Lucy Liu. Did you?
Really? I heard she had a very deadpan.
Yeah, there was just and that worked for her back in the day. Like there was something just about that deadpan Lucy Liu that worked. It doesn't work now. Maybe it's because she's a little bit older and doesn't read the same way. But yeah, she looked like she was very uncomfortable in this movie.
Yeah. I don't. It wasn't awful. I mean, when I saw her, I was like, "Oh, look at that!" I wasn't expecting that. I was like, "Oh, look at this nonsense." But then at the same time, I was like,
"That's what you want to say about a movie." Look at this nonsense.
I'll be honest. Like, I didn't expect her to be there at all.
I think it was just so surprising to see her because, like, with a lot of actors or actresses, you kind of see them kind of grow through the years, and you kind of just get used to them. This one was weird though because I haven't seen her in
anything
in years. So to
Charlie's
go from
Angels,
our
maybe?
so to go from our last picture of Lucy Liu in anything to now is a little jarring.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you spend half the movie just kind of looking like, man, that's Lucy Liu, and you like it doesn't read well. I don't know.
I haven't seen her in something.
Yeah, I mean, she
Or
does.
go ahead.
She does play like the role, okay, I guess, because she plays a really good antagonist. So
Yeah,
I
she
haven't
does pretty
enjoyed her
well.
in something since Kill Bill. I think Kill Bill was the last
And
one where I was
I don't
like,
know.
that was awesome. Yeah. But that could have just been Kill Bill was amazing anyways. But so yeah, I don't know. Well, technical difficulties.
yeah. I think our audio system's starting
audio
to.
kind of.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have
Do you have
to-
time to at least say your overall thoughts on everything?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I thought
it was fine. Not bad, not good.
yeah,
Fine.
like if you want to watch it for the sake of just watching it, I say go for it. I like the theater experience. I
Mhm.
mean, it's not for nothing though that I think the reception on the movie itself did horrible. That like the box office like tanked. Like
Mhm.
the movie completely. I think they say they're gonna probably make about 30 million at
Sheesh.
most. That's the most they're gonna get out of it, and it's like wow, that ouch, that kind of hurts.
That might cover Zachary Levi's paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't feel like it got marketed a whole lot.
That's what they were saying. They
They
said
probably-
that the marketing was complete trash, like horrible.
I'm wondering if it's because the studio lost faith in it and they didn't want to dump a lot of money into the marketing. Like, let's cut our losses. It's kind of that weird spot. It's like, if you don't market, you're not going to make as much.
Yeah.
But if you kind of anticipate that's going to bomb anyway, you don't want to waste another $20 million marketing. So
I mean, I haven't seen. To be honest, I didn't see any marketing at all.
I had
As a
forgotten
matter
to
of fact-
come out. When you called me, I was like, that's out?
That's what I thought. And then, funny enough, like the Mario movie has been being promoted like crazy.
I think they're real confident in that.
Oh yeah. So they're like, yeah, it makes a big difference. I think.
I'll
the
probably
marketing.
wait to watch this. It feels like HBO is like so quick to throw things onto HBO Max now.
Yeah.
I have a
Give it,
feeling
like,
this
2-3 weeks, man.
will be
The
on there
theater we
quick.
went to, dead.
Empty.
But,
Empty.
like, we were 3 people. There were maybe 3 other people.
Yeah.
And part of it is we went at weird times, like Sunday at like 9 something.
Yeah.
But it's back to that thing. Movies now, you're right. They come to streaming services so quick. They're still super expensive. I spent $35 or more just getting,
Yep.
my ticket and a drink and a popcorn.
Yep.
That's
40 to
old.
60 for me.
And that's always been the issue with movies, but I think people are just really kind of over it. If it's not a movie you really care about, not going to
Yeah.
do it. I'll do it for Mario movie. I'm
Oh,
looking
yeah.
forward to taking my kid to see that. But this, if it wouldn't have been for you calling, wanted to hang out,
Yeah.
I would have passed.
I just like having popcorn with my friends.
It was the same thing with Ant-Man. I mean, Ant-Man was looking back, I don't remember a single thing I enjoyed about it, but we watched it with with us, so it was still
away
fun.
money.
Yep.
Could have saved it up for a Charizard NFT.
Hell yeah. or shiny Pikachu.
I think MODOK was worth it. MODOK alone is worth that ticket.
Anyways, not a bad movie. I don't think it deserves all the hate it's getting. I think for those who are going with certain expectations and liked the first movie, you'll probably enjoy this.
Yeah.
It's not going to win any awards. I'm not even sure where it's going to jump off of in the larger DC canon, but it was fine. I mean, I don't know, 6, 7.
I was just thinking. I think I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I mean, I enjoyed it.
And not like a bad 6. Like, it's just like kind of middle of the road. I mean, and I think it's going to very much go up if you like the first movie. If you like the first movie, solid 7.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were kind of mid on the first movie, you're like a 6.
Yeah. Like, it felt exactly like the first one. Hilarious. They had okay CG. The plot wasn't terrible. It was pretty consistent across the board. As a matter of fact, the old man had a lot of,
They brought the wizard.
the wizard.
for a
They
lot of
brought
stuff.
the wizard had a lot of cameo, which is great because he was there. He was pushing along the story. was okay. I mean, I thought it was neat to see him in action, at least a little bit. He didn't do much, but it was
I think
his
name is
comebacks.
his name is like Digimon. That's why I always remember his name is because it's I always call him Digimon. Digimon
It's pretty
Hansu.
close.
Yeah. So I mean, he said some funny things here and there, kind of insulting the kid with the crutches, but you know, it was pretty hilarious. You know, overall it was okay. And Lucy Liu was it was weird, but you know, her mean character was okay, I guess. You know,
I'm just happy this movie is done because that means we have Flash upcoming. I'm not excited for that movie, but I am very curious to see what that movie is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm excited either. I am very curious.
I'm super curious.
I know Tom Cruise loves it. I don't know if you saw that.
I
guess he was
I saw
the
that.
premiere, and he's like, "I'm super excited about this now." I don't know.
No way.
Tom Cruise is, Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise, so take that with a bunch of salt. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be, the revitalization that DC's been needing. It's at least interesting, and it's a chance for them to pivot. I think it's what DC's really been needing. Like, they've been trying really hard to hold on to what they had, and it's probably at this point just needs a good way to shift off. I mean, and not that I don't think there was any potential in those old characters. I just don't think they're gonna pull it out at this point. So, Flash will be interesting.
Yeah,
Are you gonna see it in the theaters?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna go see Flash.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, oh yeah. Like, okay.
I don't know if it's worth the price of admission.
I think it's gonna be a dumpster fire, but man, dumpster fires are cool to look at.
I'm really curious as how the perception of Ezra Miller is going to affect this, if at all. Like, are we removed enough from all that nonsense now that people are going to just be okay with it, or is that going to be sitting in the back of their minds like, man, this guy? I mean,
while you're watching the movie, he's gonna show up, punch you in the back of the head, and then run out of the theater.
I feel like this movie.
He's just gonna like.
This movie has to be really crucial for DC. Other words, they would have dropped it. Because he went through so much just nonsense and so much bad publicity. I think if it would have been any other movie, if it would have been Shazam 2, they would have killed it off. But because they need this to shift everything around, I think they're just going to bite the bullet and let it be what it's going to be.
I would love for this movie to be like super amazing and for it to be the last one. I don't know why. Like, it would just be so funny for it to be like the greatest thing ever, but that's the end. That's the end of it. I don't know.
I feel like it's gonna be. I think it's gonna get what is it? No Way Home syndrome.
Michael Keaton alone.
Spider-Man. Really, it was really fun to watch in theater because it's kind of playing on the nostalgia, those big moments. Like when you see Michael Keaton as Batman, everybody's gonna be like, "What?" Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of thing. And whether it's a good movie or if it's a super cheesy reveal, they're not gonna care. It's gonna be just like when we saw Andrew Garfield jump through the portal, right? But like when you go back and watch, like when I went back and watched No Way Home, it was fine, but you could tell all those moments they were done for theater, right? They were done so you could relive that nostalgic glory moment right there in the movie theater. Watching it at home, you're just like, Andrew Garfield, and he stands there a little longer and more awkwardly than you remember. I feel like that's what this movie's going to be, right? It's going to be really fun to watch in theater. You get it home a couple months later, and you're like, man, Michael Keaton, he looks a little older than I remember. It just
sounds like the whole like Harold and Kumar Christmas like special, 3D,
like
and it's like, oh, you watch it, it's kind of
he shows up on screen, but he has like a cane while he's moving around in the suit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm hopeful it's gonna be enjoyable, but I don't know.
His nurse is like, Bruce, you can't be doing this right now. You need to sit down. I don't know.
My arthritis. All right.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up my Shazam thoughts. Unless
same.
you've got anything.
No. We'll see what goes from here.
Alrighty, well, I think that's going to wrap up the ChazmaN podcast. This is episode, 31? So,
Oh, man.
It's too many of these. Why haven't we quit this yet?
I don't know.
Let's make our own podcast.
Yeah.
We got our own setup now. We don't need him.
What are you talking about? We could we could blow up around episode 100 or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I think we should hit up Dragon Ball. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, well, yeah, I guess down in the comments or any other things, we'd like to hear back from you guys on the socials. Again, feel free to check us out, audio podcast locations up on screen.
Make sure you tell Chaz how much you should be working on Dragon Ball videos and quitting all this podcast nonsense.
They definitely have been in my streams. I guess just a heads up for the next episode. I think this weekend, Phoenix, I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to start playing The Last of Us. What do you think? I kind of said I wanted to right after the show. So.
Which version do you have? The PS4,
I have
PS5?
the 3. I have the 3 and the 4. And I have the PlayStation.
You should definitely at least play the PS4 remake one. I was curious if you had your hands on the PS5 remake.
I don't have that one yet, no.
You know, I would... Oh, okay, I'm really trying to think what I recommend here. Both are going to be good games. And if you already own, I guess, 4, if you already played the first remake, it wouldn't be worth playing the new one. But since you haven't played the new one, I think the new animation stuff is probably worth it. I mean, I know it's buying another game.
I'll buy it.
The new PS5 remake. I don't know. I'd be really curious to see what your opinion is based upon that. Because I haven't played that. The new one, I've watched some comparisons. It's better. Like, the animation is by far better.
Maybe I'll buy it.
So, I don't know. Since you haven't played it, if you want the best experience, you might want to go ahead and just go all in on it. Unless you're just trying to save some cash, then I don't think you're going to necessarily regret playing the older version. But I would say the new version is the better one.
No, I'll go buy it. I don't mind. I was kind of just I was gauging to see what version I should play. Anyways, I know I have 3, the PS3 and the PS4. So
I wouldn't play the PS3 one. Just I think it's gonna be clunky. If you played the PS4 remake, it would just play better and have better resolution, but it's still like the same animations and everything. Mm-hmm. They rebuilt the game almost. It feels like for the 5th one, it's still the same game. Like they don't change any big story beats or anything, but all the animations are redone. Like it looks like a new thing. So
I think didn't they recently put it on like PlayStation Plus?
The PS4 remake.
Oh, I see. Okay,
they've remade it a couple of times now, so it's different.
I remember
versions.
I picked it up, and I think it was for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, it's part of their opening library. So yeah, if you just want to play the game, save some cash, and you just want to go through the experience, sure, the PS4 remake is going to be perfectly acceptable. But if you want to do it for stream and kind of get the most out of it,
I think I do. Okay. So what do you guys got going on? Anything planned before the next pod? Nothing crazy?
I'm just trying to grind up in Infinite. That's about all I have time to do gaming-wise. Life is busy now. Kiddo's got a birthday, work's going crazy, and just life is life. But as far as games, I'll just be working on my ranking up, playing with my She-Hulk. Giggity.
Yep, for me it's probably about the same, except for I don't know. I'll play Snap whenever I get a moment. But I'm looking forward to
Diablo
4 this weekend. Yep. I think I might just hit that up. Like I was mentioning it, there's a game that I just downloaded called Soul Hunters 2. I really want to try that out. Okay. It looks super interesting, and I was on Xbox Gamepass. And I might want to download what is it, Wolong?
Wolong Dynasty.
Oh man, that looks so good.
Yeah.
Like that's a Dark Souls game. I think I'm all about it.
Oh, it's just like Armored Core.
Stay away.
Oh yeah, I love Armored Core. So I might just download it for the sake of getting it, and then playing it at some point. So, but too much kiddo stuff right now.
Fair enough. Alrighty, well, I think that wraps up this week. I don't know. You guys gonna retreat back to the attic, basement?
Nope.
Bathroom?
We're moving out on our own.
Yeah.
Gonna mooch off him. I'll pay you some rent.
Okay. Oh, you'll love my basement.
Ooh. I'll have a new basement next week.
Yeah,
I don't want to know what goes on down there. Alright, guys. Well, we love you, and we can't wait to see you on the next one. So, alright, everyone. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.